Well, we here at Autoportal simply enjoy being on a road trip and taking a break from that mundane, everyday, boring city life. And for this journey, we've decided to head up to Kasauli once again. Well, no, I'm just joking with you. We're not going to go to Kasauli again because we've already been there about 3 or 4 times and you have told us not to go there. So this time we're heading to Agra using the expressway, and we've decided to take the Jazz CVT automatic for this trip, borrowing it from Honda, of course. So let's find out what this car is capable of on that long highway trip. So after negotiating through some heavy traffic around Gurgaon and the city, we've now finally managed to get onto the Agra Expressway. And well, if you are someone who enjoys a lot of sights and sounds and those sorts of things on your highways, then you will be a little disappointed because it really is a barren piece of architecture. There's nothing on either side of the highway over here except a lot of fields. So in that sense, it's not as exciting or as interesting as some of the other highways are. But that said, it's a very well made highway. Remember, it uses reinforced concrete cement for its surfacing, which means that grip levels are much better than they are on a tarmac surface or a tar surface. So don't be surprised or disturbed if your tires make a bit of a wheezing noise, because it's quite normal and natural on this kind of a surface, especially if it's hot outside like we are driving today. It's about 42-43 degrees on the outside, so it is quite a natural phenomena. Well, the other thing you've got to be careful on this road is of the odd deer coming onto the road. Now, there are a lot of signboards around this highway which warn you about animals which can stray onto the road over here from the nearby villages or the nearby jungles. So in that sense, you've got to be a little careful and drive slowly. And officially, the distance from where you start the expressway to the end of it is roughly about 180 odd kilometers. But you will cover those 180 kilometers in absolutely total peace of mind. And why do I say that? Well, because traffic is very sparse. It's not a densely populated highway. And sometimes, for long stretches, you will probably be the only car on these roads. Well, unlike a lot of other highways where you do have showrooms as well as workshops as well as dhabas every 5 or 6 kilometers, on this highway it's only on very select places, and that also after gaps of about 40 or 50 odd kilometers. So do make sure that you are carrying a spare tire, and do make sure that your car is in absolutely first class nick, because God forbid if something does go wrong on your vehicle, you might be stuck for a while, because even though they do have those SOS phone booths over here, they are a little far from each other, so getting to one in this heat could take a while. So you've got to be well prepared for this highway. And even though the tolls are expensive, even though you have to pay a lot of cash for them, it really is a very hassle-free highway for use. Well, remember, if you are driving on this highway, another thing that you should keep in mind is carry a pair of sunglasses, and that's because this highway is made of concrete and it's a very light grey in color, which means that it tends to reflect a lot of sunlight back. Well, and like a lot of other Indian highways where you can of course stop every 5 or 10 kilometers to grab a bite and grab some parathas, on the Agra Expressway those dhabas are few and far between. So what you need to do is of course stop at these rest zones that the highway authorities have provided, and you can of course tank yourself up with those sandwiches and also get some fuel for your car. So if you are someone who enjoys that sip of cold drink, then it's a good idea to stop over here and give your legs a bit of a break. Well, so we've spoken a lot about the highway. Now let's talk about the Jazz and its performance on this long stretch of road. Now, in terms of the ride comfort on this car, it is absolutely first rate. It has a very mature ride. It does not feel like you are sitting inside a small car, and it can actually shame a lot of cars a segment or two higher for the ride comfort it offers. The ride is very flat, it's very absorbent, and even when you're doing speeds of about say 90 or 100 or 110 kph on this highway, this car really does have a solid sense of stability about it, which gives a lot of confidence to the driver. So we've got the top of the line CVT version, which also gets these paddle shifters at the back. Well, if you are stuck behind a slow moving vehicle, all you need to do is just press this shifter over here, this little pedal over here, and the gears do kick down, because remember, this car comes with a torque converter, and it really does show you brisk progress. Well, this 1.2 liter engine from Honda, the iV-Tech engine, is inherently refined and probably is the most refined and silent motor out of all the other premium hatchback cars available in India at the moment. Well, the other good point about the Honda Jazz is the fact that this cabin has been designed in a very thoughtful manner, and whoever has designed it is as obsessed about bottles as I am, because you get 9 bottle holders inside this cabin, and I want to show you one of them in particular which is of more importance than others, and that's the one right over here next to the driver, because it's located right below the AC vent, and it really does keep your water bottle cold even on the hottest of summer days, or in fact even if you don't have a water bottle and you have a small can of Diet Coke, it'll keep that cool and chilled even on the warmest of warm days. So an excellent job by Honda in terms of human engineering when it comes to the Jazz. Well, the other good point about this car is its fuel efficiency, and we have been on the highway now for almost about 100 odd kilometers, and I have been driving with my cameraman for most of the journey and our luggage as well, and we are recording a fuel efficiency figure of about 16 kpl, which isn't bad at all considering that we are driving in the middle of peak summer with the AC on full blast and are driving on a very hot surface. Well, the other good point about the Honda Jazz are these seats, especially the ones on the front over here. They offer you very good bolstering for your lower back, and they also have very good support for your under thighs, because remember the seat scob is both long as well as wide, so even the tallest of tall passengers should not have a problem on this car for those longest journeys. The other good point, of course, is the fact that you get these huge windows. All the glass area in this car is huge, and you also get this little quarter glass over here, which means that visibility really is excellent, and you'll really appreciate that visibility when you are pushing this car into a corner or are negotiating a very tight bend, or if you have to reverse it into tight spaces. Well, apart from its refinement, this engine is also very responsive, and it starts responding from a relatively low 1500 RPM, which is very good, and it loves to rev all the way up to its red line, which is about 6,500 RPM, would you believe it? It really is a very sporty engine, and even the handling isn't very bad. It's not a sports car, remember, it's not a car which is meant for sporty handling, but even then the steering wheel offers good feedback, and you do feel reassuring when you're driving this car, which is very good considering it is, at the end of the day, a family hatchback. Once you enter the city of Agra, you have to drive rather carefully, and that's because the streets over here are very narrow and are densely populated with traffic. And talking about Agra, well, everybody knows this as one of the most famous cities in the world, and unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know what Agra is famous for. And I don't really need to explain anything to you, do I? Well, so the Agra Expressway is a very easy and hassle-free highway to drive upon, just like the Honda Jazz CVT is. And to be honest, it really is a highway that you should drive upon at least once in your life if you live in India or live around the Delhi NCR region. And why is that? Because it does save you a lot of time, and at the end of the day, remember what they say, time is money. Well, so I hope you have enjoyed our video presentation today, because we have really enjoyed bringing it to you. And that's it, folks. It's bye for now, and I hope to see you soon.